She stole 40 billion yuan, nearly $6 billion, and for years, no one could stop her. At the center of one of the biggest crypto frauds in modern history stood a woman who seemed almost untouchable, Qian Zhimin, a polished, soft-spoken entrepreneur who built her empire on promises she never intended to keep. Before anyone realized what was happening, Qian had already drawn in 128,000 investors across China. She sold them a dream through her company, Lantian Gerui, a future where ordinary people could ride the wave of a booming digital currency revolution. High returns, low risk, exclusive access. It sounded like the opportunity of a lifetime. And Qian played the role perfectly. She hosted luxury seminars, rented five-star venues, and stood under bright lights delivering speeches that made her look like a visionary. Investors described her as magnetic, confident, and frighteningly convincing. They trusted her, and they trusted the numbers she showed them. But behind the stage, there was no revolution underway. There was only a slow, methodical theft. While families, shop owners, and retirees believed they were securing their financial future, Qian was quietly siphoning billions of yuan out of the company and converting it into Bitcoin, long before most people even understood how crypto worked. From 2014 to 2017, the scheme grew so massive that even early warning signs couldn't slow it down. And by the time the truth finally started to surface, Qian had already prepared the final chapter of her plan: escape. By the time Qian Zhimin's empire was thriving, her company, Lantian Gerui, had become a household name in China's fast-growing investment world. On paper, it looked like a high-tech financial powerhouse, a firm combining traditional wealth management with bold new strategies in digital currency. Sleek offices, sharply dressed staff, and a constant flow of promotional videos all reinforced the illusion that Lantian Gerui was the future of investing. But beneath the glossy surface, the company was little more than a carefully engineered trap. Qian built Lantian Gerui to look legitimate from every angle, complete with professional branding, staged audits, paid testimonials, and events designed to impress anyone who walked through the door. It was a fortress of credibility, designed to hide the fact that every yuan entering the company was already being siphoned away. Qian structured the operation like a modernized Ponzi scheme. Early investors were paid with the deposits of new ones, while Qian quietly diverted enormous sums into her own accounts. She wrapped the fraud in the language of innovation, cryptocurrency, blockchain, next-generation asset growth. It sounded cutting-edge, and most people didn't fully understand it, which made the promises even easier to sell. The victims came from every walk of life. Retired couples investing their life savings, small business owners looking for stability, young professionals hoping to ride a technological revolution. All of them believed Lantian Gerui was offering something safe, modern, and exclusive, a chance to participate in a financial boom that felt just out of reach. But the money flowing into Lantian Gerui grew at a pace no legitimate business could sustain. What began as a few million yuan skyrocketed into tens of billions. Qian converted staggering amounts of those stolen funds into Bitcoin, using foreign exchanges, shell companies, and overseas networks that made her financial trail nearly impossible to track. By late 2017, the cracks became impossible to hide. Investors struggled to withdraw money. Recruiters stalled for time. Complaints quietly reached local authorities. But the scale was already overwhelming. A financial bomb infused with years of lies, digital manipulation, and billions disappearing into the blockchain. And just as the pressure began closing in, Qian executed the final part of her plan. She disappeared, leaving behind collapsing offices, frantic investors, and one of the largest financial crime scenes the country had ever witnessed. When Qian Zhimin vanished in late 2017, she didn't just disappear, she executed a carefully rehearsed escape. Using a network of forged documents, cash reserves, and crypto wallets she controlled alone, she slipped out of China before authorities fully understood the size of the fraud. Her first stop was Southeast Asia, where she switched identities and cut ties with anyone connected to Lantian Gerui. From there, she moved into Europe, living under multiple aliases and traveling through countries where enforcement gaps made it easy for fugitives to blend in. She stayed in luxury apartments, paid for private drivers, and used Bitcoin to fund a life that never looked suspicious on the surface. Investigators later discovered that Qian relied heavily on a single fake passport, a carefully crafted identity that allowed her to rent homes, open temporary accounts, and cross borders without raising alarms. With billions in stolen crypto stored safely offline, she had the resources to stay hidden for years. But the trail she thought she erased had already begun to reappear. Small clues surfaced: surveillance footage, money transfers, border records. Each piece brought international investigators a little closer. And as the walls slowly tightened, Qian's life on the run became exactly what she tried to avoid: a moving target watched by agencies across several countries. By the time she settled in the United Kingdom, the hunt had quietly closed in. She believed she had outrun her past. She hadn't. Her capture was no dramatic raid or chase. It was simply the moment global law enforcement finally caught up to the woman who stole billions and spent years living behind borrowed identities. The money Qian Zhimin stole didn't just vanish. It left a digital shadow. Investigators discovered she had moved tens of billions of yuan into Bitcoin, storing more than 61,000 coins across hidden wallets and offshore exchanges. She thought the blockchain would protect her. It didn't. Slowly, piece by piece, experts traced her transactions through exchanges in multiple countries. What she believed was untraceable turned into a roadmap, a path leading directly to her. When she arrived in the United Kingdom, authorities already knew who she was, how she moved her money, and where her Bitcoin was stored. And the moment she was arrested, the impossible happened. Law enforcement seized more than 61,000 Bitcoin, one of the largest crypto recoveries in history. The trail she built to hide her fortune became the very evidence that took it away. When Qian Zhimin finally faced a London court, her years on the run ended. In November 2025, she was sentenced to 11 years and 8 months for money laundering and possession of criminal property. More than 61,000 Bitcoin were seized, making her arrest one of the biggest crypto crime recoveries ever recorded. Her empire collapsed, her fortune vanished, and the digital trail she trusted became the evidence that exposed her. And to learn how Tillerus uses AI to detect, track, and fight cyber fraud in real time, check out Tillerus.com and learn how modern cybersecurity is evolving. And if you want more real cybercrime stories told like this, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss the next investigation.